EdiCue is the premier tool for creating ADR cues with Pro Tools. It can load PDF shooting scripts to simplify the creation of cues and allows for the text of the lines to be styled. Once cueing is complete, EdiCue can export a variety of files, including PDFs using customizable layouts. You can design the complete look and formatting of the text, select what fields appear on each cue, and set up how cue numbers should count and what data they contain. To assist with updating cues from a writer, EdiCue can now generate the to-be-written PDFs with editable fields. This allows writers to enter the updated lines directly into the PDF, and this PDF can then be loaded back into EdiCue to update the master cues session. Want to know more about how EdiCue works? Then keep watching this video for a demonstration on how to customize the band designs that are used while exporting the PDFs. Hi, I'm Mark from Sounds in Sync, the developer of EdiCue. In this video, I'm going to show you how to configure the band designs that can be edited by clicking these design buttons here. EdiCue comes with several preset designs, so you may just be able to use these by selecting them here from the PDF layout list. However, if you would like to add a logo to a header or change what fields are displayed in a cue, this video will show you how to do that. If you haven't seen them already, check out the previous videos that demonstrate how to create a Pro Tools cue session, how to load the cue data into EdiCue from all the various files that it can load, and how to set up EdiCue using the various settings tabs. So to start, I'll just go through all the different types of band designs that we have here in EdiCue. We've got the header band design, the scene, the cue or summary, and if you load department notes, then this column allows you to select the note band design. So for most of these PDF layouts, this column is used to select the cue band design, but for the summary layouts, you can only select a header, and then this column is used to select the summary design. As I said in the previous video, these preset layouts here shown with a name in blue text, these you can't select what band designs you have assigned to them. You need to copy them here like this last one here, and here you can select what band designs you want to appear in that particular layout. So to change the design of these layouts, you click on one of these buttons. The design header button here displays all of the header designs in the setup bands window. And this window is used for all the designs, so the functionality that I'm going to explain here for the header bands is the same for all the other types of bands. So like the PDF layouts, the band designs here shown with a blue name are presets and cannot be changed, while the black one here is a custom design. To modify one of these, you can just Apple D or click the duplicate button here. And as you can see, each design contains a portrait and landscape design. Now, if you created a design in a different production, you can import it by clicking this button here and importing from the current settings file or from a different settings file, or you can just drag and drop the production settings file onto this list and select which band designs you want to import. So we'll get on to how we actually edit these designs shortly. I just wanted to show you, once you've edited one of these, you can drag and drop them onto the alternate view, and EdiCue redistributes the objects across the new width of the band, so you only need to design one of them. Now note that because each of these band designs is storing a portrait and landscape preview image in the production settings file, it's best to delete any that you're not using, as this will impact the load and save times of the production settings file. So I'll just delete this one here, and now we'll go into edit this band design here. We'll just double click it, and the design window here appears. So this window contains the toolbar here on the left, the designer window here in the center, and when we click an object, we see the properties of that object appear in the property list on the right. We can use the zoom control here to adjust the size of our design. So when I click any of these objects, the type of the object is shown here, and if I click the band itself, we can adjust the height of the band here, and we can also set a background color here. Before we get into actually making any changes, I'll just explain, if we click this close button here, we'll lose any of the changes that we made. or if we click the retain and close, then obviously we'll retain any changes that we made. I'll just close this without retaining any changes, discard, and then I can open it up, and we've got the band design set up the way that it was before. So the beauty of having this band designer is that you can change the look and text of everything in this design. Obviously you can change the color, the font size, if it's bold, italic, underline, the alignments. And you can also change this text here if you're creating cue sheets for someone not in an English-speaking country. Of course, you can change these field names to be shown in whatever language you want. The other thing, of course, you can do is you can use these fields for a different purpose. So you could use this client field for whatever you want. Same goes for any of the fields in the cue or scene band designs. You can see from this example PDF that can be downloaded from the website, I've set up the note field here in the cue design to display the English text, while the actual line field displays the text in Thai. So to use this band designer window, you can just, I'll just delete this image here. For starters, you can drag and drop any of these objects onto the design window. You've got a label object, the field object, a line, picture, rectangle, and a rounded rectangle. So any of these you can just drag around. You can set the position here by entering a value directly into property list, or you can just select the object and use the cursor keys to nudge them around. You've also got a right-click menu here where you can delete the object, duplicate, send to back, so you can set the order of objects if they're on top of each other, and center on page. The other thing you can do is press Apple D to duplicate an object. So with this label here, we can change it actually to be a field object, and then we can set the data field. Now I just wanted to explain here, we've got these segment data fields here. We can show the segment number and the segment picture version number. Now to save having two fields to display that information and say a label to display the segment type, we've got this segment details data field here, which combines the segment type, the segment number, adds the picture version text and the picture version number. So you can see you can pick up whatever data field you want to go into this header from the drop-down menu. So now I'm just going to delete both of these objects and I'll drop in this picture object here. So to add a logo, you just click this picture property little button here, and we'll just select from our desktop this accident logo. Now you either need to select a PNG or JPEG file here. And this is a warning you'll get if the image is larger than twice the height of the band. Basically, we don't want to store a lot of image data that isn't required. So I suggest clicking the resize button here so that EdiCue creates a smaller image. So here we go, we've got our Accidents Happen logo. So I'll just close this and discard changes. And now we'll just move to the cue designs. So here you can see all of the preset designs that come with EdiCue. What I'm going to do is just duplicate this engineer one. And before we go any further, actually, I'm just going to save this and use that design in one of these layouts. So I'm just going to select Engineer Character Copy, and I'm going to select this to export, and I'm just going to Apple S to save this setting. I'm going to close, and we're just going to go to File, Load PDF Layout Test Data. And we'll select the EdiCue tracks and select the production that we're using. So now we'll go back to the export settings. I'll go back to Cue Designs, and we can go and edit this design. So there's just a few things I want to show you in the property list that relates to cue designs. The first is this PDF editable property. Now we can set this for tagged cues or all cues. If we select this for all cues, then all cues that are exported with this layout will export this field as editable in the exported PDF. If I select tagged cues here, then only the cues that have an editable tag in the Pro Tools clip that you set up in the session interface window will be editable. So you can select specific fields and only particular cues are to be editable in the exported PDFs. So in this example, I'll just select all cues. I'll click Retain and Close and click Save. And now we're just going to, this is our design that we just selected, but I need to select Portrait here because that's the actual design that we modified. I'll just Apple S to save the settings here and Apple E to export. Just going to save that to the desktop. And this is the PDF that's generated. So now we can see this field here is editable for all of the cues in the PDF. So also just want to note, while I've got this PDF open here in Preview, that Preview doesn't actually handle editable fields that well. When you change the text in here, and I'll just click Save, depending on the position and size of the field, the text can actually move slightly. And the size of the text can also change depending on the font size. So I'd recommend, if you're going to do a lot of editing or you're going to pass this PDF to someone else, it's best to recommend to them to use Adobe Acrobat to make any changes, and then the text will look the same when any changes are made. And also, if you hadn't seen it in the previous videos, you can load the data from these editable fields back into EdiCue when you make changes in the line or note fields. So just see the video that describes how to load cue data from the various files, and you'll be able to see there how to import this data into EdiCue if you need. And the other handy thing you can use these editable fields for, and I'll just select this band design, the engineer character 2, just so you can see another way of how to use these editable fields. And in this, you can see this recording notes field here. So you can have a look at the preset band design, but this is a label that is set up to be editable. And so this allows you to set record notes directly into the PDF during a record session. Now I'm just going to go back to the previous design that we created here and re-export that. And I'm just going to show you in this PDF here, you can see these cues here don't display a note field, but these ones do. Now EdiCue will automatically hide the note field and the associated line above it for cues that don't contain any information in the note field. So just see the EdiCue user guide for more information about that. If you're going to create your own designs or modify these a lot, you'll just need to be aware that there's certain requirements involved in having EdiCue do that for you. So the other thing you can see in this PDF here is EdiCue is automatically adjusting the height here of these cue designs. So this is the reason that I imported this data. I'll just go back here just to refresh us. You just can load the data from this menu option here. And what this allows us to do is just check that these objects are set up correctly and behaving the way we want when a line field contains a lot of text and it needs to be expanded. Now, in case you're wondering, when fields are editable, EdiCue allows a little bit more space here for the edited line. So I'll just go back to the design of this and go to the portrait design. And here I'll just set this up to be not editable. But there's this property here, PDF adjustable. So in order for this band design to adjust automatically when the text of the line is really long, you need to check this on the main text line, and you need to set it on all the objects that are below it, or need to expand to allow room for the larger size in that line field. So in the case of this band design, it's actually checked on this line, the note field, all these vertical lines, and also this bottom horizontal line here. But see the EdiCue user guide for more information about exactly how to set up these cue designs to do this. So with that test data offloaded, you can make any changes here. Click Retain and Save. Save here. And then I'll just export. And here you can see these are no longer editable, but all these objects are moving as they should to allow room for these longer lines. So I'm just going to go back to that design again and click the portrait. And the last thing I want to show you here in the Cue band design is this label. It's a special label in that it shows you the state of the to be written field, but rather than just showing it in a field like this one here is, we're actually displaying it using a formula. We display the formula by clicking this arrow button here, select Formula Editor, and here you can see the formula that's used to display the to be written field. Now the reason I'm using this formula in a label rather than just using a standard field is that it allows you to display the to be written field in a different font color and background color, and you can also see here in bold when it's a to be written cue. So for more information on how to write these label formulas, see the EdiCue user guide, and it explains all the different commands that you can put in it to be able to display this text depending on the state of a field. So the last thing I wanted to point out here was that any placement or look of how text is displayed or font sizes, etc., is reasonably close to how it's exported in the PDF. Now I'm just saying that is you might get some slight variations, so it's always best when you've got a design made up and before you actually print out your cues, just retain and close, save. You can load this test data, but always just do a quick export and just confirm how it looks actually within the PDF. If you're being really critical about how lines meet, etc., you might need to move things a single pixel one way or another, just so that it looks exactly how you want it. So now we'll just have a look at the band designs for summaries. This is the preset summary. I'll just duplicate that so we can have a little play. Maybe we'll just call this summary B. And then I'll just save that, create a summary, an additional summary here. Just leave that as copy and select summary B here. Select that to export. I'll just Apple S to save this setup. And then I'm going to load my accidents happen sample data because I want to be able to print a summary of all of these characters. Go back here, click Design Summaries, and I'll have a look at the portrait design here. So a few things I just want to show you here. The summary designs are slightly different to the other designs in that they've got several bands, and we'll see how that information is displayed in the PDF when we export it. If you don't want to show the detailed information below the totals, a way to stop them from being shown is just to delete all of these objects in this band, and then that information isn't exported in the PDF. The field objects here in the total time column can be set to use a different data field, so you can set it up to display hours and minutes, minutes only, or hours. And I'll just close this and discard. And the last thing I just wanted to show you about these summaries is the landscape design has also got an additional column here with the cue number range that will display the cue number range for each character when you're using a cue counting method that is either a global counter or a character counter. So I'll just close this, discard, and we'll just save that, export. It's generated the one PDF, and here we can see this is where the information from the separate bands appears in the PDF. So we've got information from the first band here. This is the second band. The third is the detail for each character. The fourth is the total line, and the fifth is the information here below the totals and this detailed information. So I'll just close this. And I just wanted to point out that any changes that you make in this window or any band design changes that you make in this window and retain, to keep any of that information, you must click the Save button here, and that will save that information back to the production settings file. So this completes the video on how to customize the band designs that are used while exporting the PDFs. If you need further clarification on anything shown here, please check out the EdiCue user guide, which can be saved from the Help menu. Thanks for watching this video. Now if you'd like to try out EdiCue for yourself, either on macOS or Windows, just head to the download page of the website. Once the app is installed, just click Try to activate a trial license.